All right, let's get started. So today we're going to do scripting 101 with Motive and using the Motive authoring tool. So I'm on the main dashboard and I've created a new script catalog called Webinar 4 Scripts. I'll just be showing you the basic structure of the script catalog and then of a script itself, and then how you can use the different pieces of a script to create your experience. Again, as I mentioned to those who are here a little early, you may type in a question in our live chat on the webcast, and at any point, whether we're doing this or not, you can always ask a question by clicking the intercom button here, going to New Conversation, or going to the support link and checking out and posting a question on our forum. It could be that another user has already asked that question and we've provided an answer, or maybe you want to collaborate with some of the other people who are using Motive during this beta period. All right, so let's open Webinar 4 Scripts Catalog. As you can see, Script Catalog is made up of a folder called Main and a script called Main. You can easily add or rename or move a script. You can add another folder if you'd like, or add another script to this particular folder. So let's say my other scripts. And this provides a way for you to organize your scripts into nice digestible chunks or easy to view pieces, so you can kind of keep track of your narrative or your experience in different ways. You can, again, add another script here, rename this, delete them, whatever you like. I'll just get rid of this one for now. I'll be going into a bit more of the finer features, I suppose, of script branching in a webinar next Friday. So I won't get too into it here, but just know that the catalog contains one or more scripts. That's the important point for now. Main script is triggered by default by the Ghost Hunter script, or the Ghost Hunter template. So let's just dive into main script as an example, and then we can see how a few things play out. So I went through how the editor is set up, and I'll go through another brief description of that. On this side here on the left, you've got your frames. Now a script is made up of one or more frames. The center is the frame which is highlighted. So right now I have one, and this is the frame that I'm editing. And on the right, I've got all the different resources I can drag into a frame that will unlock and then help you produce the experience that you're trying to create. So a frame, you can give it a new name if you'd like. So I'd say main frame, or let's just call it, my main frame. Just show it works. And you'll notice that over here you'll get that change as well. So this can kind of serve as a table of contents for your script. So that's something to keep in mind. Another way to organize these things and to keep track of each specific piece. I can also add a note to the frame and say this is a demo of how a script works. And then perhaps you've authored a script and then you're working with someone else who needs to look at that script later. A note is a handy way for you to be able to convey what it is your intention was for this script, and they can know if they're in the right place to edit or change the experience. So there we go. And remember, always hit save after an edit. A lot of the times what we found is people make an edit on this side, go down to the template or into a project in Unity or on their phone and say, oh, it's not happening. A lot of times just click and save. We'll do it. So we've got the ability to name a frame, got the ability to add a note or remove it, I suppose. We have the basics of this frame are three parts. We have a precondition, and basically it goes to a true false. So you say, is this condition true? If it is true, play out any resources that you put into it. And resources are these elements that you have on the right hand side. And then finally there's a post condition which says when this is true, close this frame. So whatever resources were active, you want them to no longer be active. So I'm going to go through a really basic example and show you how these things work. So first I'm just going to drop a map marker. So I'm going to drag this resource into the frame. And you can add more than one resource to a given frame, that's up to you. But just for the sake of simplicity and demonstrating the concepts, I'll just do one. So I'm going to place one marker at this corner of How and Dunsmuir. And again, I can rename this if I want, you know. There we go. So I'll hit save again. And so since there is no precondition, this resource will be unlocked immediately. And since there's no post condition, this resource will just continue to be active. And again, since I'm using the main script, and this is the only frame in it, this will play out immediately. So I'm going to open up the Ghost Hunter sample, and as you can see, I've got my script catalog name, webinar_for_scripts, pasted in there. So I'll just hit play. So as always, once you hit play, what it's doing now is going up to the Motive authoring tool and saying, for these catalogs, which you've specified here, please download them and any associated media, and then play that out. So let's go to scripts, show all, main, so I'll reset that and launch. This is a handy debug tool, which lets you kind of say, if I've listed more than one script, maybe I just want to try out a particular one without having to go through the whole flow to get to, say, part 5 in my experience. I can just come right into this view and find all of my scripts listed here and then choose to launch or reset one. Since I was testing this before, I did need to reset. So as you can see, I've got this corner of How and Dunsmuir right there. Great. So as I say, in this side, we'll look again, no precondition and no post condition. So that will just continue to be available. So let's change it up. This time I'm going to add a precondition. And the precondition is going to be very simply, let's use a timer. Doesn't get much more simple than that. So I'll say it's got to be 3 seconds. And then once it's been 3 seconds, this will appear. So now this one reads, wait 3 seconds and then place the marker. Come back. I may have to reset the script again. I'll go ahead and do that. So I'll reset it and then launch it. So I waited the 3 seconds and then it appeared. Just to give you one more demonstration of that. Let's go back. Actually, I'll stop that for now. Well, that'll be fine as is. So this time, I'm going to say, great. At this time I said, wait 3 seconds and then place the marker using a precondition. This time, let's use a post condition and say, place the marker and then after 3 seconds, make it disappear. So again, 3 seconds. Hit save. Come back down here. I'll hit reset. Going back up, checking what's there. Oh, should have just left it. So let me do that again real quick. So scripts, I'll go reset the main one. I'll hit launch. So it's there immediately. And then we'll wait. And then 3 seconds later, it's gone. So what's actually happened on this side is it said, because this post condition has become true, whatever actions that you've specified here or whatever resources you've enabled here are no longer active in the system. Okay, so that's a really powerful tool. It could be that you've created an entire narrative plot that's played out, and then maybe you've created 2 scenarios of in your branching narrative, and when a certain thing happens in one, that immediately kills the possibility for the other. In which case you could use a post condition, for example, to say, okay, now that that particular part of the story is no longer possible, make sure that it's no longer available. So I'm going to come back to nothing here for a second. Hit save. So if there's any questions, I haven't been keeping track, but if there are any questions, please, again, type them into the chat. So this time, let's make another frame. I'm going to make a subframe, because a script can be made up of one or more frames. So in the main frame, nothing's happening. In the subframe, I'm going to say, place a marker. And again, I've got this nice table of contents, so I know what's happening. So I'll place my marker here. So hit save. Now, once I've placed the marker, I'll add another frame. And as you can see, I've got a lot of options for the different conditions. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them here, but if I actually won't go through most of them here. But if there are ones that you are interested in using, you have a question, please let us know. And then again, also use intercom if you're ever trying to use one and want to find out the best way to do it, or having an issue with it. So close that up again. So this time again, I'm just going to use a proximity condition. So I'll say I'll get within 20 meters of this same point that I used in the other example. I'll hit save. And so maybe what I want to do in this one is say, okay, well, now that I've done that, I'm going to tempt fate here and see if I can actually get the sound to play out of my computer as well, and see what happens. I'm going to play a sound. So playable content, I'll use this audio. I'll be doing an entire webinar on how to use audio with Motive at another time. So if you're interested in that, you can use audio in many, many different ways with Motive. So this time I'm going to play the sound of the birds. And I'll hit save. I'll put a volume on there. Hit save. And I'll say play bird sounds when close to the point. I'll hit save. Now normally when I'm doing a Hangout, you can't hear the sound. I'm hoping with this piece of software that's given me some issues with audio is going to let me do that. But if not, bear with me and we'll see what happens. And I'll be trusting my two colleagues in here to let me know that they can hear the sound. So I'm going to hit reset. So it's going to reset the data, so it's going back up. You'll notice it downloaded the sound it needed because it's going up there and saying, oh, I need this sound now. So I've got my point. I'm going to walk over there. And hopefully you'll hear birds. So now that I've done that, I'm going to just hit stop on that, and I'm hoping that you guys have heard the bird sound. I've got I'm a bit ahead of you guys in terms of a delay. Cool. So I'm getting the word that did work. So that's just one particular point. Now let's think about, I'm leading a user down a path in this scenario. So I don't want the first point. I want the first point to show up, and then I want the next point to show up, but only after they've gone to the first point and this piece of audio has played. So what I want to say is when this is done, actually, you know what? I'm going to do it a little different than that. I'm going to close this one, so you can delete a subframe there. So I've got the birds playing. In addition to that, this time I'm going to get rid of the birds, and I'm going to just pop up a message that tells them where the next spot they should go is. Go to the water. So I've added a screen message there. So now I'm going to say show message, hit save. And these, the titles for the frames aren't necessary, but I think they're helpful. So once they've closed this message, so this message will pop up. So once they've closed this message, and as you can see, that becomes the precondition now of this new frame. I'm going to say, now I want to play sound of the beach when they get close to the water. Got the beach waves, awesome. Taking it up to 11. So in this one I want to say play beach sounds. Save again. Okay, so in our frame we've got the main frame, which is not going to trigger anything. So that means this is going to complete because nothing's happening. It's going to immediately go to its subframe. This subframe is going to place a marker. Once the marker is placed, it's going to say, okay, this one is complete. Go to the next subframe. This one is going to have the precondition, location proximity, within 20 meters of the point we placed. And then a message will pop up that says go to the water. It'll then go to its subframe, which says the precondition being when that message is closed. Ooh, actually I've made a mistake. So when that message is closed, I don't want to play the beach sounds. I want to drop another marker so the person knows where to go. So always good to review. So let's go near the water. It's a point I've created earlier. So now I hit save, and it's so I want to place the marker near the water. Save. And now I'll do one more subframe, which is going to say a location proximity condition, same as the other. Say 20 meters. Bring in that audio, and this time we'll play the beach sound. 100. Keep going to 1,000. And I just like to keep my things all nicely labeled, so all the frames. This just makes it so much easier to read on this side. So when I think to myself, when I'm out testing and I go out there and I say, you know what, that isn't exactly what I wanted it to be. I need that particular point or that particular element to be new or different. When I come back to the editor saying, oh yeah, this is the thing I want to do, when that message pops up near the point, that's what I want to change. So it makes it easy to find. So again, quick review, nothing in the mainframe. We're going to place the first marker. Next one is when this precondition becomes true, we're going to go down to the water, or we're going to pop up a message which tells the user to go down to the water. When that message closes is the precondition of the next one. And again, to bring up that option is just down here. There's this little triangle in the bottom right corner which gives you all sorts of different options. And I'll come back and we'll do one of these in a minute so you can kind of present the user with choices. But for now, in this scenario, the precondition of the next one is simply that the message will close. Then we'll place another marker, get close to that marker, then the beach sounds play. Okay, so let's come back and hit play and give that a shot. As you can see, okay, gonna go down, head to the water. I'm gonna actually have a quick look there. What did I do? So 20 meters, oh, I'm already within range. Great. So I'll just hit reset just to make sure this is all going the way I want it to. So reset, launch, okay, run down there. Okay, go to the water. Now I've got my markers down near the water. Now hopefully the beach sounds play. Well, I can hear the beach sounds. I'm hoping that I haven't turned it off so you can't as well, but beach sounds are there. So I'm going to give that one more run through because I'm not sure that went the way I wanted it to. Okay, let's just reset. Got the particular corner there. I'm going to just dial it up. You can see you can't see the other point yet down there. Okay, go to the water. So now I hit OK. So now the point appears. There we go. Running down this way. And the beach. Ah, that's the problem. I forgot to add where the location that needs to be within 20 meters of in order for it to play. My mistake. Let's try that again. So that's what happens when you do things live. But also good because there's always debugging. So this time, here we go. Oh, need to reset. Still running from the last time. So scripts, show all, reset, launch. You know what? That's not doing what I want. Again, if you have any questions at any point, please go ahead and type them into the chat. And I'll be happy to answer them, or we also have other people from Motive in the chat who can answer them as well. Reset. Sounds of the water. Walk down here. Beach sounds, hopefully. I can hear them. I hope you can too. Okay, so that took me a little longer than I was hoping it would, but we were able to get through there. There are a few other options that I'm going to go through, but for the most part, these are the basics. I'm going to show you a quick way. I'm going to actually delete this whole thing here. Okay, save. And again, I'm going to show you just how to present a choice to the user. This is another topic that I'll be going through called script branching. But this is something I'll take on in another webinar. But just to give you one scenario and how to branch a script is to use a message and present the user with a choice. But I think it's an important demonstration of how to use this down here below. So, and it demonstrates how to use preconditions as well as a way. So let's say I like the matrix, so we'll ask the user a question. So this is just a basic screen message, and in this case, I just want to know, I want them to pick one choice. So I'm going to click plus on the responses. I'm going to assign option 1 to the red pill, and then I'm going to add a second response, and I'll assign that to option 2, and I'll say that's the blue pill. And again, I can add images and stuff if I'd like, media, but just for the sake of brevity, I'll just keep it where it is. So now I've just got a very basic message that's going to pop up with a choice to the user, option 1, option 2. So here's something that you can do. You can say, okay, well, if they pick option 1, which is the red pill, you can see this here, so picked option 1, then I can, bring up a character message or any other piece of content. Maybe I'll just say, red pill, save, and then here I can say, again, if they pick the blue pill, save. So now right here you can see I've branched it into choices. So I've asked a question and given the option of picking one of two things. So once one of them is picked, I might want to then invalidate the second choice by using a post condition, by saying, well, they've already picked one, so I don't want them to be able to go back in some way, or maybe you've provided them a way to go back and re-choose. Up to you. So I'll just show you how that plays out, or make sure I hit save. And again, this is one of 3 ways that you can branch narratives with Motive, but I'm going to be going through all 3 of those in another webinar. I just want to make sure that this one focuses on how you can use the script editor, the components of a frame, and to make sure that you understand what each component part is. Because if I start going into more detailed things that you can do without that basic understanding, I think it's difficult to understand how those other parts are working. So there we go, hit play. And I'll just give a quick caveat, I was playing with this and modifying something, so I may be mid modification on this particular choice on this particular template. This will work for you, but there we go, red pill. Perfect. So my mod that I'm working on is still working fine too. So it always helps to share your tests with other people too. So again, I think I'll just do a quick review of what I've gone over. If you have any other questions, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I think I'll wrap this one up, and I'll be back again next Wednesday with, I think I'm going to be going through all the different ways you can use location, and that's going to be GPS, it's going to be points of interest. You can use this other part up here, which I'll just kind of show you, which is using adaptive content, which is a whole nother very, very cool feature of Motive. So that's just a bit of a teaser. So what I wanted everyone to get from this is script catalog is made up of 1 or more scripts. You can organize them however you like. They'll trigger off main in case of the Ghost Hunter, and then we'll dive into the main script. You have your frames on the left hand side, you've got your resources on the right hand side, and in the center you've got the active frame, the one you've clicked on here. So you can, every frame is made up of, and I'll just put a blank one, a precondition, 1 or more resources, and a post condition. And that's really the key, and that's how you're going to drive everything in your experience. I just remembered something very important that I think you'll all want to know about. And that's when I said you can use 1 or more resources here, you can also use 1 or more conditions. And to do that, you use a compound condition. This is a super important concept. So if you want to say, if I'm close to something and it's sunset, for example, let's use AND operator. So I'll say, if I'm close to that corner, you'll notice I like to use that corner a lot. So then I've got one condition where it's going to say and with a second condition, well, I'll say a daylight condition maybe, and it's dusk. Then open the resources. So it's not just a case of being able to only have one precondition. Same is true of post conditions. If you use this compound condition, you can add many different types of conditions and then choose the operator between them. So super important, and I'm glad that I remember that one. And that one is just right here, compound condition, Motive core, very, very useful. I don't see any questions, so I just want to say thanks very much for attending, and as always, if you do have any questions later, please, please, please hit us up on Intercom and ask the question, or check out in the forums on the support page, and I think you'll get an answer very quickly. So yeah, I'll wrap this one up. I appreciate you attending, and I can't wait to see what you make. Thanks.